Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to FBCA Baseball on Eagles on the Air. I'm Jackson Champion. I'm joined by my co-host Andy Cook, and tonight is the first game of a doubleheader between Fort Bend Christian Academy and Cristo Rey Jesuit. So tonight, Andy, there's a little bit of a shakeup in the lineup. Zane Council is going to be on the mound. Blaine Baird's going to move over to third. Sophomore Logan McKenna is going to catch. Tyler Curry is going to move out to left field. Caleb Bratcher is going to DH. So lots of movement around tonight. What do you have to say about this new lineup change around?
So obviously the injuries with Caleb Bratcher and last night's injury to Blaine Baird will prevent him from playing catcher tonight. I think the Eagles will function just as well. Blaine Baird has experience at first base, and Tyler Curry has experience in left field. So I don't think this will be a massive drop-off for the Eagles defensively. Offensively, Caleb Bratcher in the DH spot, great hitter. I don't think this will create a massive drop-off in this particular game.
And also something worth noting, Tyler Curry playing out in left field is just playing in the field. He will not be hitting tonight. And now shifting more towards the pitching side of it, on the mound tonight for the Eagles, Zane Council, senior. What do you have to say about Council and how he's made his trek back from injury and what we'll expect from him tonight?
You know, Zane Council, he's found his groove recently. I've been liking what I'm seeing from him. He's been pitching once a couple times a week-ish. But I'm excited to see what he's got on the mound tonight on Friday night on senior night. I think he's due for a good game.
Yeah, something worth noting tonight for the Eagles, we have a couple seniors playing. Blaine Baird, Zane Council, Chandler Bean, Marcos Romo, Grant Poss, all seniors who have given their heart and soul this year to the program, and they're seeing their rewards paid off tonight. As we're just a couple moments away from first pitch, and leading off tonight for the Cristo Rey Lions is Samuel Juarez. Council is going to be a right-handed pitcher facing a right-handed batter. And here's the first pitch, and that's going to be up near his head, and that's going to be high for a ball to start off the game.
Yeah, Zane Council typically struggles in the counts where he gets a first pitch ball. But when he gets a first pitch strike, he's a lot more efficient than Zane Council. Not really finding his
second
spot
pitch
here.
Misses wildly near the same spot, just a little bit higher and away, near the head of Juarez. Juarez, number 6, playing shortstop tonight for the Lions. Council picks up his first strike of the night off a high pitch that gets Juarez to chase. Brings the count 2-1.
Yeah, that's more what we're used to seeing. Zane Council just needs to settle in and find his groove.
Council misses again, high and by the head. I can't tell if he's trying to locate a curveball and they can't get it to fall, or if he's just losing command on the pitch. All 3 of his balls have missed high and inside. High again, and that's going to be a leadoff walk for Council. And up next to bat is number 1, second baseman Ryan Burnell. He'll stand in from the right side as well.
I'm not sure if I like that first batter that Zane Council faced, but that was a nice pitch there.
Council starts off this count right, 0-1 now. Council has slowly gotten back into pitching for the Eagles as his years have gone on. This one is fouled off to the right side. Council has suffered quite a few injuries during his tenure at FBCA, and it's kind of held him back from being that dominant pitcher that FBCA was hoping they were going to get from him when he transferred in. And so Council's starting to round back into form and getting ready kind of at the right time around playoffs. So if they can have him back to what he used to be, they've got an ace to go to in big, important games in the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. This team can be streaky at times, but with some solid pitching, this team is absolutely one that can make a run. And so I wouldn't be surprised to, once everybody gets healthy going into playoffs, this team is definitely capable of doing some serious damage.
2-2 count now to Burnell. Juarez takes his lead. That swung on and missed. by Burnell. That'd be the first strikeout of the night for Council, swinging. Up to bat now for the Lions, Jonathan Arizola, third baseman.
Yep, righty Zen Council faces early on here tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want as a pitcher.
Absolutely.
Pitching away from the hitters. Something worth noting is that the Cristo Rey Lions showed up just about 25 minutes ago to the park, had a little bit of time to warm up, and they were thrown right into action. So they are looking, maybe if they're looking a little bit groggy out there, that may be part of it. 0-2 count quickly to Arizola, third baseman number 3, as he calls time and steps off.
Yep, Zane Council very quickly has made his way back to finding the zone, just throwing strikes.
Runner goes and breaks towards second. Throw is off to the right as Arizola is sat down on strikes, but they do not get the runner out at second. So now runner in scoring position, and that'll bring up the catcher number 18, David Banda.
Yep, runner in scoring position, but I don't know how much it'll matter considering how dominant the Zane Council has been in these past 2 at-bats.
Yeah, Council starts this count 1-0. Here's the 1-0 offering. Swung on and missed. That'll even the count at 1-1.
Zane Council gets a lot of swings and misses. A lot of times on that fastball, and we've seen that here tonight.
Another one in for a strike for Council, and that'll bring the count 1-2. Senior night tonight for the Eagles, as the students have shown out in the crowd to support the seniors. Council with the 1-2, and that'll drop into the zone for a strikeout as Council strikes out 3 in the inning, but walks the first batter. Score is 0-0, heading to the bottom of the first. You're watching FBCA baseball on Eagles on the Air. We are back here in the bottom of the first inning. Score is 0-0 as Council struck out 3 batters out of 4. He walked the first batter. And now due up to bat for the Eagles is Benji Elizondo, Brady Dever, and Blaine Baird.
Yep, flashback to the last home game. Benji Elizondo was the one source of offense. He had 3 RBIs and 1 run scored was the first run of the game. And so he was involved in all 4 of the Eagles' 4 runs against Second Baptist in their 4-3 walk-off win here at home on Wednesday afternoon.
Eagles unfortunately couldn't pick up the win on Thursday night as they traveled to Second Baptist and lost 18-9. Eagles went up 9-0 in the first inning and then could not scrape across any offense after that. So the Eagles, Fort Bend, split the series with Second Baptist, and now they are in a doubleheader tonight with Cristo Rey. And these will be, I believe, the last 2 district games for the Eagles on the season, and then they'll get ready for playoffs come May.
Yeah, it would be a big confidence booster for the Eagles to go ahead and secure both of these and head into playoffs with 3 out of the last 4 and 2 straight.
I believe 2 wins tonight will entail being 3rd in the district.
Yes, that's right.
And on the mound tonight for Cristo Rey Lions is Victor Vega, number 5. But to lead off for the Fort Bend Eagles, number 8, Benji Elizondo.
Yeah, Benji Elizondo batting .370. Has slowly made his way up, and I believe is second on the team now, only to Zen Council. Just an incredible player. Has been batting lights out, especially in district play.
I think he had 3 of the 4 RBIs in the first game against Second Baptist, and I think the 1 RBI he didn't have was the one he scored. Yep. Elizondo fouls that one off by the left side, just outside of the bag, and that'll bring the count 0-2 now.
Yeah, but I have a feeling the Eagles are going to be swinging early and often, trying to get into an offensive rhythm here early. So be on the lookout for first and second pitch swings from this top of the order here.
Elizondo stands in from the right side, 21 RBIs on the year, and has a .500 on base percentage. Great leadoff hitter. That one's going to miss high for Vega, and that's going to bring the count 1-2 now.
Yeah, Benji Elizondo can work a count down here, but wouldn't be surprised if he was able to work this one full.
Vega's going to hit Elizondo on the back, and Vega will let the leadoff runner on. Up to bat now, Brady Dever, and as I was told, according to him, he hit a home run last night against Second Baptist, but according to him, it was, quote, at least 400 feet.
Yep, I heard it was over the apartment buildings was one that I heard. Obviously, I wasn't there to witness it, so. And again, it's baseball. You can't take everything at face value, you know. But he did smoke one. I heard it was absolutely mashed. So
Elizondo's moving on the pitch, and the catcher, Banda, not even going to make a throw down as Elizondo easily takes a bag as that first pitch is in for a strike. But hearing that Dever got a home run, certainly not surprising. Looking at his numbers, you would think it's surprising, but Dever, one of the most talented players on this team, started the year off with a hand injury, being hit on the very first pitch of his first at-bat. Being out for a month really slowed down his season, got to his head, and he wasn't seeing the ball well.
Yep, absolutely. He hasn't had the same sample size as some of these other guys on this team, but you know, Brady Dever, a really talented player, and while he hasn't fully worked his way back on these, as that one is flown to center field,
Elizondo's going to tag up from second. He's easily going to make it into third. And an error throw from the cutoff man will bring Elizondo from third to home. So Dever does his job. I don't know if that'll be scored an RBI off Dever, but I believe that'll be scored as an error from the cutoff man. But nonetheless, the swing of Brady Dever brings in Elizondo for the first run.
Yeah, heads-up base run. Nice heads-up base running there from Benji Elizondo. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less, but very, very solid.
Up to bat now for the Eagles, number 9, Blaine Baird.
Yeah, Blaine Baird has just been filling up the stat sheet this year for the Eagles. 379 average. Really has taken a role as a leader on this team as a senior. It's been really cool to watch him develop this year and just become the player that he is now.
Baird's count starts 2-0. Baird is committed to Southwestern University to play football.
Yeah, Blaine, from what I'm told, Blaine might pursue a secondary career in baseball at Southwestern, try and walk on. You know, he's been a two-sport guy 4 years. I can imagine that he doesn't really want to leave either one of those sports. I mean, and I can't blame him.
You know, talking to Baird, whenever in the past you've at least talked to him, it seemed like baseball was kind of his main priority.
Yeah.
And he focused on baseball. I think he personally loved baseball more. But the football thing kind of took off as of late, and he had a great senior season. It opened his eyes to a lot of recruiters in the area, and he was able to get an opportunity to play football at Southwestern. So huge deal for the senior Baird as the count moves full.
Yep. Blaine Baird is just an incredible athlete. I mean, he's only played football and baseball in high school, but he's definitely been around. You know, he's played basketball in the past, and you know, among other things. So,
and that's going to be dropped first strike as the pass ball is going to allow Baird to make it all the way to second. I believe that was a walk.
A walk and an error. Wow, that's not something you see every day.
So now up to bat, number 6, Zane Council, the pitcher. Council, another one of these seniors in this FBCA lineup tonight, as he has a chance to drive in a run here, 1 out in.
Yep, Zane Council, formerly a PO, has been absolutely mashing this year. Has one of the few home runs on this FBCA team, 480 on base, 381 average, just incredible numbers from the pitcher tonight and commonly a first baseman.
That pitch is going to be outside and low and bring the count 2-0. Council usually does play first base, but he's on the mound. And usually you'll see Clay Krish sometimes at first when Council's pitching, but tonight Baird is at first. That's due to his injury that he had last night, as Council ropes that one into right field, and that's going to get over the head and into the gap of right field. That's going to score Baird, and that's going to be 3 bases for Council and a stand-up triple to start off the night for the senior.
Wow. Nice piece of hitting there. Just barrel the bat. Nice smooth swing. Pulled it right into the gap.
I don't quite know why, but the right fielder, Clay Krish, who's usually number 15, is wearing number 21 tonight, junior.
I'm not sure what that's about, but...
And that's going to be drop into right field for a single. That's going to get past the right fielder, and that's going to be extra bases for Krish, as Krish is going to try and stretch 3. And Council scores, and Krish has another... That's the back-to-back stand-up triples for the Eagles, and that'll bring across another run. 3-0 is now your score, as the Eagles are really getting to Vega here in the bottom of the first.
Yep, absolutely. The first 2 hits of this game have been triples, stand-up triples from the middle of the order. So Vega is now in that danger zone with the 4th run in scoring position.
As that ball is fouled off of number 16, the DH, Caleb Bratcher. He's a junior, and this is his first year at FBCA, coming via George Ranch High School out in Richmond.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Caleb Bratcher in the DH spot tonight. Watching him the other night, he was definitely hobbling around, and you want to keep him healthy, and it's definitely the best decision to keep him in that DH spot for tonight. Bring in Tyler Curry and see what he can do in the field.
George Ranch, in recent memory, actually a very good baseball school, as they've produced recently Golden Spikes winner Kevin Kopps, pitcher at Arkansas, and they've got 2 players on Texas A&M's roster who are both big-time players, Dylan Rock and Moo Menifee.
Yeah, George Ranch has been producing some talent, and Caleb Bratcher, while not on the Golden Spikes level just yet, he's a great player. Nice pop of the bat, you know.
Count is 0-2 now to Bratcher, as he'll foul that one off to the left side, and we'll do 0-2 again. Caleb will also pitch in the second game of this doubleheader. Second game will be immediately following the conclusion of the first. That pitch is swung on and hit over to the second baseman, and he'll field it cleanly and throw it over to first base for the second out of the inning. But that'll score Clay Chris from third, and that'll bring the score 4-0 now for the Eagles. Up to bat next is number 7 senior, second baseman Chandler Bean. Chandler Bean will stand in from the right side as this FBCA lineup is heavily littered with right-handers.
A lot of righties in this lineup. Caleb Bratcher's a switch hitter, and Brady Dever hits lefty. But other than that, he's everyone else I think is a righty in this lineup here tonight.
First 2 pitches will miss. First away and second one high to Bean to bring the count 2-0. Eagles have 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Vega looking to get out of a jam as Bean singles that one into left field, and that'll be the third base hit tonight for Fort Bend.
Yeah, nice single there. Didn't really make phenomenal contact with it, but a very nice hit there from Chandler Bean. Found the gap.
Now standing in from the right side, third baseman senior number 4 Marcos Romo.
Yeah, Marcos Romo, as they said in the senior night presentation, has been a longtime member of this Eagles on the Air program.
He's hitting around 200 despite the average on your screen.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of an error, I think, on our machine. And that's going to be a single up the middle as Bean was moving on the pitch. Chandler will make it into third, and Marcos will get a single. And now runners on the corner with 2 outs, and that'll bring up sophomore number 27 catching Logan McKenna.
Yeah, I don't think that Marcos Romo will be batting .094 anymore after that hit. I don't think that stat was accurate, but if it was, then I believe he probably crossed the 100 mark. But Logan McKenna, the underclassman, with a big-time opportunity here.
And now it looks like head coach Fidel Alman is going to come out and talk to Vega. Your score is 4-0. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. We'll be back after the meeting. We're back after the meeting, and Logan McKenna, sophomore, will stand in from the right side to face Vega still. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, as Marcos will easily steal second with no throw or attempt down, as now runners are on second and third as the count is 1-0.
If anything in the outfield here, I believe will score a run, or maybe 2 actually, because Marcos Romo's got some speed to him, and that one's popped foul.
First baseman charging to make the play, and that's going to fall right underneath his glove, and that's going to drop foul, and I'll bring the count 1-1. McKenna doesn't play much, but he's been the backup catcher, and as Blaine cannot play catcher tonight, he's slotted into the lineup and has a big chance to impress the coaches.
Yep, absolutely. But, I mean, him and Jackson Powers, I mean, we think about the guys that 2 years down the line are going to be the leaders of this team. I mean, lots and lots of seniors and juniors on this lineup, and not a whole lot of sophomores and freshmen, but we're getting to see a few of them tonight. As you said, Logan McKenna and Tyler Curry in the field. So it's a good exhibition for them.
1-2 count now to McKenna. Vega with the 1-2 offering. That's going to be skied high into foul territory. The first base is going to charge at it, and it's going to go off his glove yet again. And drop foul. That's going to bring the count, keep the count at 1-2.
Yeah, Marcos Romo looked like he and Shaylin Bean both made their way home. But no outs, so they'll move back as the count remains 1-2.
All 9 hitters for the Eagles have batted this inning. If McKenna were to reach base, that would bring up the top of the order with Benji Elizondo. McKenna flies that one out to shallow right. That's going to be caught by the second baseman to end the side. But the damage is done. 4-0 off 4 hits and 2 errors. Fort Bend leads the Cristo Rey Lions. This is Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV. We're back in the top of the second. 4-0 is your score as the Eagles lead the Lions. And now up for the Lions is the pitcher, number 5, Victor Vega.
Yep, Victor Vega struggled a little bit in that first inning, facing the powerful offensive attack of the Eagles. Let's see if he can create his own run support.
Count is quickly 1-1 to Vega. Council had 3 strikeouts and 1 walk in the first inning. Looking to pick up where he left off. That one's going to miss high and bring the count 2-1.
Zane Council has missed high a couple of times, especially early in this inning and the last one.
That one is going to be fouled off to the right side and going to be foul. And that'll bring the count 2-2. That one's going to miss high again as Vega checked his swing. And that'll move the count full to the right-hander. Council with the 3-2 offering. It's going to be dribbled over to second base as Bean will make the throw. It's going to be in time for the first out of the second.
Yep, and the first out made that was not a strikeout. So defense finally getting some action here in the top of the second. But props to Zane Baird, or not Zane Baird, excuse me, Zane Council, forcing the ground out on the full count. Just doing what he can, and great execution from the pitching and from the defense.
Now standing in, number 20, Antonio Franco, the first baseman. Council starts this one out 0-1. Council moving with a little bit of pace now on the mound. That ball is going to be low and away and bring the count 1-1.
Yep, we see that with Zane Council sometimes. He gets in a groove and he starts picking it up a little bit. And we're seeing that here in the top of the second.
That one's going to be in on the hands of Franco, and he's going to foul it off to the right side. It's going to move the count to 1-2 now. Council gets the swinging strikeout off Franco, and that'll be the 4th on the night. And that'll be 2 outs down now here in the second.
Yeah, wow. Zane Council, this is, it's what he does. He gets strikeouts, forces groundouts. He's done a fantastic job so far tonight. Started off with a walk, a little shaky, wasn't hitting his spots, but since then has just been on an absolute tear.
Now standing in for Cristo Rey, the center fielder, Steven Aguilera. Council up 28 pitches here in the top of the second. As he gets a nice swing and a miss on a high fastball. And that'll bring the count 1-1.
Yeah, Zane Council been pretty efficient so far, hovering around the 15 pitch per inning mark, and it's exactly what you want to see. 17 strikes to just 12 balls. It's 18 strikes now. So, great start here from Zane.
That ball's going to miss low. Bring the count even 2-2. Council looking for the strikeout. And he's going to hit Aguilera on the back. And that's going to be a hits Batman here in the second inning. And that's going to be a 2-out base runner for the Lions as Aguilera hobbles over to second. And that'll bring up Anthony Fuentes, the left fielder, batting from the right side.
Yep, Zane Council got to pitch with a sense of urgency here and got to hit his spots and get out of this inning without raising his pitch count too high or allowing a run through.
That one gets in for a strike to bring the count 1-1 to Fuentes. Council on the delivery. It's going to be run inside on Fuentes and move the count 2-1.
Zane Council still shaking off a little bit of the, what do you call it, early game jitters, I guess. I mean, he's been pitching well, but sometimes he gets behind in counts and tries to get a little fancy with it. And
count is now full to Fuentes. There's a runner on second, so the runner on first should be moving on the pitch. Swung on and missed by Fuentes, and that'll be Council's 5th strikeout of the night. Despite the hits Batman, no runners come to pass the score. Your score is 4-0. The Eagles lead the Cristo Rey Lions. You're watching Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV.
All right, and we are back. And after the Eagles batted around in that bottom of the first inning, Benji Elizondo, the leadoff batter, will lead off yet again here in the bottom of the second.
Elizondo was hit by a pitch, I believe, his first time up. And he came around to score off of a Brady Devers sac fly and an error throw from the cutoff man to third. And the count will start 1-0. Victor Vega is still on the mound for the Lions as he allowed 4 hits and 4 runs to pass. He worked about 30 pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, Benji Elizondo, something to note, crossed the 500 on base threshold just with that hit by pitch last time around. Exactly what you want in a leadoff batter.
Elizondo flares that one out into center right, and that one's going to drop in for a double for Elizondo as some of the outfielders have trouble handling the ball. And a stand-up double and leadoff double for Elizondo. That brings up the power bat of Brady Dever.
And now Brady Dever, we heard about what he did with runners in scoring position last night.
Yeah, he picked up 2 RBIs off that home run, and knowing Dever, that could be all he needs to get right back into the swing of things. I mean, if you remember last season, Dever was a 500 hitter.
Yeah, incredible sophomore year for Brady Dever.
And he was a big driving force in that team, making it to the second round of playoffs as Elizondo is going to steal third. And that ball is going to get away from the third baseman as Elizondo thought about coming home. But head coach, third base coach, Jones decided not to send him.
Definitely thought about it, though. Benji Elizondo started to break, but did not get the signal.
Dever with the 1-0 count from Vega. Here's the 1-0 offering. That's going to be in on the outer half for a strike. Much to the dislike of the Fort Bend side of the crowd. One offering from Vega is going to be way outside and move the count 2-1.
Yeah, Brady Dever going to work this count until he gets the pitch that he wants or he gets walked. So that's just the kind of hitter that he is.
Vega's going to step off the mound and call time. As actually the ump called a balk on Vega, and that'll move Elizondo home. And that will bring the score 5-0. Very, very unusual thing that happens in baseball, balk is.
Yeah, we really don't see that a whole lot, but more often at the high school level than maybe in college or the pros. But
to explain the balk, a balk is when a pitcher, as Dever, skies that one into right field, and that one's going to fall into the glove of the second base. I believe
that dropped in.
Yeah, that ball just dropped in. And that'll be a double for Dever. And that'll bring up Blaine Baird to bat. But as I was saying, a balk is when a pitcher makes kind of an unnecessary movement or unusual movement on the mound, or some kind of move towards home plate and then breaks from that movement. And that'll advance every runner on base one bag up. Dever's going to steal third as the hit and run was on and Baird was swinging. And that'll bring the count 0-1.
Yep, a dangerous position again. Blaine Baird, as we said, a 350-plus hitter with a runner in scoring position. So we'll see what he can do here.
0-1 count to Baird now. Here's the offering from Vega. It's going to be in at the feet of Baird and move the count to 1-1. and that's going to come in on Baird and hit him on the leg, and that's going to be a hit by pitch and free base for Baird. Dever was moving on the pitch, and he'll have to come back to second, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Zane Council.
Yep. Nothing much you can really do about that if you're Blaine Baird.
Council last time up, I believe, tripled.
Yep. Nice hit there from Zane Council. The first time around, a stand-up triple, the first hit of this game. As Brady Dever breaks.
Dever will easily make it into third, and Blaine and Baird will easily make it into second as a double steal moves both runners into scoring position. No outs here in the bottom of the second. One run is scored so far. Eagles looking to add more.
And now Zane Council with two runners in scoring position.
Council flies that one up high and on the infield. And that'll be the first out of the inning. As Dever is going to tag up from third and Baird's going to tag up from second. That's going to bring across another run. 6-0 is now your score as senior number 44, Grant the Bull Poss, comes into bat for the first time this season, I believe.
So Grant Poss, I believe, is going to take the spot of Clay Krish, but Grant Poss on senior night getting some looks. We'll see what he can do.
First pitch is going to be low and swung on and missed by Poss. Poss spent his beginning of his high school career at George Ranch, and he came over by transfer for his last year. He played football for the Eagles along the O-line and was a great, consistent starter for the Eagles as that count moves to 1-1.
Yep. Poss definitely has some power. He's a strong guy. I was surprised to not see him as much. He did take some time off from baseball when he was focusing on football for the past few years, but
that one's going to run in behind Poss, and that's going to bring in Blaine Baird from third, and that'll bring the score 7-0 on the pass ball. The count moves to 1-1. Poss will take the place of Clay Krish, who is playing out in right field. I don't know if we'll see Poss out in right field, but
I doubt it. Poss is a primary first baseman. Doesn't play the field very much, but
that one's going to be swung on, hit to the right side, and that's going to get out foul.
So I don't know the rule on this, but can Clay Krish stay in right field even though he?
I don't know because the Eagles already have one designated fielder, so I don't know if they can have a second. I don't know if theoretically you could have 9 people playing in the field and 9 people hitting. I don't know if that's how that works. But that one's going to be outside. That's going to bring the count full to Grant Poss.
Nice job by Poss. You know, he's just got that incredible play discipline. Work this count full.
Yeah, I wonder where he's been all year, why he hasn't been in the lineup. He's really working a great count here against Vega. And here's the full count offering from Vega. That's going to be a single into left field, and that's going to be a hit for senior Grant Poss. And that brings the dugout and the student section to life as he appears to be a fan and crowd favorite among the Eagles.
The crowd in the dugout going absolutely insane, hitting the crane kick. Oh, my gosh.
And Poss hits the crane kick on first. This is just the atmosphere you want on a Friday night at the ballpark.
Just incredible stuff.
Doesn't get much better than this. Caleb Bratcher now stands in from the left side. And that's going to be in on the hands. And Poss is going to break towards second. And he's going to pick up a steal.
And now Poss moves into scoring position. You know, I think anything that drops into the outfield, I think Poss is scoring.
You know, despite the size, Poss has got some speed.
Absolutely.
He was an athletic player. He played offensive line for the Eagles. He's no slouch.
Yeah, not at all.
That one's going to be hit over to the right side. The first baseman will step on the bag for the second out. And Poss will move up to third base. So Chandler Bean stands in for a chance to bring Grant Poss home and move the score 8-0. But 2 outs are across in the bottom of the second. Last time Chandler Bean was up, he hit a single through the left side. Vega's first pitch is going to miss high and outside to start off the count 1-0.
Yep, nice take from Chandler Bean.
That'll move the count 2-0 now to Bean.
Yeah, Grant Poss taking a nice lead from third. He really wants this run here. And I believe if he scores it, the place is going to go nuts.
Vega with the 2-0 offering is high again, and that'll move the count 3-0.
Yep. Chandler Bean keeping a good eye. Not swinging at anything outside of the zone.
4 straight balls from Vega will put Bean on first. And now that will bring up senior Marcos Romo.
Now, Marcos Romo has an opportunity to drive in a run for his fellow senior Grant Poss. A two-out single or anything above would more than likely score that run.
How special would it be for senior Marcus Roman to drive in senior Grant Poss on senior night?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. It's always fun to watch senior night because you can tell the guys they're passionate, and it's bittersweet, of course, because I mean guys are excited to leave for college, but at the same time, sports are some of the memories that they will never forget in high school, and obviously we're seeing right here Grant Poss is creating one.
Bean is moving on the pitch as he'll throw it down to second. He's going to be safe. And Poss is going to move home on the steal, and he's going to score. As Bean then moves to third, and is going to come home, and he's going to make it in safe. So off the steal of Chandler Bean, that brings Poss in to score, and off the throws, Chandler Bean moves around to third, then eventually home. So 2 runs cross the plate for the Eagles as Grant Poss is celebrating with the team.
Wow.
What a moment.
Yeah, that's so cool. And that moves score 9-0 now here in this bottom of the second. Marcos Romo remains in the box.
1-0 count on Romo. 2 outs still here in the bottom of the second inning. And something to keep in mind, I believe after 5 innings, if the Eagles lead by 10 plus, that will be a run rule. And I also believe 15 runs after 4 would be a run rule.
Yeah, I mean you can't count out anybody in the second inning. That's the one thing about baseball is you're gonna have to pitch to them and you're gonna have to hit them. There's no time. You can't play the clock. You can't do any of that. Everybody gets the same amount of chances.
2-1 count, and now Marcos is going to drive that one out to left field, but it's going to fall foul. And that'll bring the count 2-2.
Nice contact there from Marcos Romo. Just got a little ahead of it. Pulled it foul, but, you know, if I'm Marcos Romo, I'm not displeased with that. I just want to do it again.
Romo just a little bit early in that one, looking to shorten his swing there. 2-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on base. Vega with the offering. That one's going to be outside and move the count full now to Romo.
Yep, good stuff from Marcos Romo. Logan McKenna on deck, has his catcher gear on, so we'll see if he has to take that off.
Full count offering from Vega. Is it going to be a drop? Third strike. But that'll be the inning as Vega picks up his first strikeout of the night. 9-0 is your score here as we move to the top of the third. Your Eagles lead. You're watching Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV.
And how he has no hits.
We're back in the top of the third inning. Zane Council so far through 2 no hits allowed and 5 strikeouts, with only 2 runners allowed to reach base off a hit by pitch and walk. As up to bat now is Chris Garcia, the right fielder.
Yep, Zane Council, so far, no perfect game opportunity, but in the event that the Eagles score one more run, yep, he just needs 3 more innings of hitless ball to finish a no-hitter.
Good swing and miss there, as I believe Garcia thought he had one more strike, but he was sat down on strikes there by Council, and that'll be Council's 6th strikeout of the game.
Wow, 6 strikeouts through 7 outs. Impressive stuff.
Defense has only had to work for 1 out, and that was a grounder over to Chandler Bean in the second. And that'll bring up the top of the order again, Samuel Juarez. He walked his first time up. Council up to 42 pitches, 43 pitches on the night. 24 strikes, 19 balls. That second pitch is going to be inside. Move the count 2-0.
Yeah, good eye from Juarez.
Big swing and a big cut there from Juarez. That'll move the count 2-1 in the top of the third. 1 out here so far. The Lions have yet to get a hit off of Council. And that ball is going to be behind Juarez and move the count 3-1 now.
A hitter's count to Juarez, and last time up we saw him get walked. And
that one's going to be swung on and missed by Juarez, or foul tipped, I believe. That'll move the count full. And that'll be a strikeout.
Wow.
Looking for Council. His 7th strikeout now on the game.
Well, nice pitching from Council to not get down and work his way back from a 3-1.
How many looking and how many swinging strikeouts does that's at least Council's 2nd looking strikeout. And that one's going to be low and away to start off the count to Ryan Bernal, the second baseman.
Oh, my gosh.
1-1 now the count to Bernal. one's going to be miss outside and bring the count 2-1.
Yep. Zane Council has kind of thrown a lot of pitches. Looking at 51 through 2 2/3.
That one's going to be third ball. Well, when you can't get the other team to make contact, it's going to be pretty difficult to work with a low pitch count.
Yeah, when you have as many strikeouts as Zane Council does, 7 through 8 outs.
That one's going to be Council's second walk of the night. So a 2-out base runner yet again for the Lions, as that brings up number 3, Jonathan Arizola. That one's going to be fouled off to the right side, and that'll move the count 0-1. Council checks in on the runner at first.
Greg Poss in at first base as Blaine Baird moves to right field.
That'll also mean that the night is now done for Clay Krish, as he was substituted out for Grant Poss, the senior.
Well, at least the first game, because again, folks, this is a doubleheader.
The runner's going to move up to second, as that ball is from Logan McKenna is going to get away, as the runner thought he was going to be able to make it to third, as Ray Dever rushes into the infield and tags Bernal, and that's going to end the inning. So some poor base running is going to lead to the end of the inning for the Lions. Your score is 9-0 as we move to the bottom of the third. This is Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV. Given that it is senior night, I would like to give a shout out to our seniors in broadcast. So tonight, we have Andy Cook on the mic with us tonight. He'll be a senior. This will be one of his last broadcasts on the year. Avery Hodge, she's worked a lot of camera for us, and she's talked in a couple games. She's a senior. Reagan Heflin, she's a senior, and she's worked camera and tech for a couple games for us. Marcos Roma, who's actually playing tonight, he was your lead play-by-play guy in football this season and for the past couple years, and he's worked a couple cameras and tech. And I believe that's the senior class for broadcast 21-22.
Yeah, but it's been really cool. Marcos and I have been in broadcast since our sophomore year, so this is each of our third years, and Avery and Reagan both moved to this school last year and have been in broadcast ever since. So it's been really cool just doing everything with them, and yeah, it's really been a blessing to do all this stuff and watch everybody else kind of grow up in broadcast too. It's been great stuff, and I've loved doing football with Marcos and baseball, softball, volleyball with everyone else, and it's been a really cool experience.
Yeah, we near the end of our season with broadcasts, as we like to give a thanks to teachers, Mr. Williams and Mr. Lee, for doing everything they do for this class. They're running tech tonight for us, and they're in the trailer. So we want to give a big thank you to them for all the work they do in setting up the broadcast, telling us what to do in class.
In the wise words of Mr. John Williams, even though our season is coming to a close, broadcast remains undefeated.
Broadcast never loses. Well, back to the game. The Cristo Rey Lions have a new pitcher in, and that'll be number 17, David Garcia. But Andy, I have to ask you, through your 3 years of being in this broadcast class, what have been some of your favorite moments?
Let's see. Man, there's so many. Second Baptist in football this year was a big one. And honestly, if I'm being totally honest, watching back-to-back walk-offs this week on Tuesday and Wednesday, one in softball, one in baseball, it's been fun. But I'd have to take a deeper dive to tell you exactly my best memories.
McKenna drives that one out into on the infield to the right side, and it's going to be caught by the first baseman for the first out of the bottom of the third. And that'll bring up the top of the order yet again, as Elizondo will hit for his third time tonight. Elizondo was hit by pitch, and he doubled his last time up.
Wow, so Benji Elizondo gets an at-bat in 3 consecutive innings.
Garcia looking to stop the bleeding here as he gets a nice swing and miss there from Elizondo. Start at the count 0-1. That'll move the count 1-1 now. 0-2 to Elizondo. Garcia trying to make quick work here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, just trying to mow him down, but
that one's going to be dribbled over to the third baseman. He's going to make a throw across the diamond, but Elizondo's going to beat the throw and be safe, and that'll be a one-out single for the Eagles, as that'll bring in junior Brady Dever. Dever not only plays baseball extremely well, he is the varsity starting quarterback for the Eagles. And I know you've called many of his games. What would you say, what kind of football and quarterback he is?
You got a little of this action too, broadcasting games with Derek Jordan, among others. But watching him last year and just seeing the player that he's become from that first broadcast we did of him, of the Kincaid game last year, where sometimes it was a little shaky and you could tell that was his first varsity game, and now looking at it, he set school records in yards, touchdowns, what have you, everything. He just had probably the greatest quarterback season that FBCA has ever seen, and it's been crazy to watch him. He's such a talented athlete, both on the diamond and on the field.
Count is now 1-1 to Dever as Elizondo moved up on a steal to second. Dever swings and dribbles that one over to the right side. It's going to get through for a single, and that'll play Elizondo as Dever's going to stretch this one all the way to second, and that'll be a stand-up double for Dever.
So, double digits reach the Eagles. So, 10 runs if this lead holds.
The game will be called after 5.
After 5.
But if the Eagles can add 5 more before the end of the fourth, that should call it there. As now standing in from the right side is number 9, Blaine Baird. Baird, a .379 hitter on the year, as Garcia checks back on Dever at second. And going back to Dever, he set all kinds of school records his junior year playing football. But I don't think he's quite done moving into his senior year.
Oh,
that one's going to be singled through the left side. That's going to score Dever and bring the score 11-0.
Yep. As he scores there, when it's all said and done, I mean Brady Devers going to hold all the single season records and all the career records, and
his numbers are going to be hard to catch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, especially with the offense that Coach Carpenter has run.
A lot of wide open
helm.
spread.
Yeah. Lots of statistics to be had there. So, it's been a match made in heaven between the two of them.
Come next fall, we'll be right back here on Eagles on the Air, FBCA.TV to broadcast the opening of football season. And if you really want to think about it, we're just about 4 months away from that first game. Hard to believe.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, obviously, the baseball players playing football are just thinking about getting done with baseball season, not even considering football season, but
it's close. It's right around the corner.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fun and exciting season for the Eagles, as this year they made a run to the state semifinals farther than they've ever gone before. So best run in school history. And next year, they'll have just as great a shot to make it right back to state.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I make the argument that this is one of, if not the best team to come through Fort Bend Christian Academy. I mean, the offense is incredible, and it was really cool to broadcast a lot of those games, and
it was a special
really
season.
Cool, absolutely.
Eagles fell just short to the hands of Second Baptist, losing in the state semifinals at Rice Stadium, as Baird will move up to second. 14-13, I believe, was the score of that game. Tough loss for the Eagles as they won the previous contest here at the Nest on a game-sealing interception by one of our cameramen tonight, James Donovan.
Yeah, James Donovan had 3 interceptions that night.
I mean, one of the best defensive performances you'll see all time by an Eagle, as Zane Council has walked there. James Donovan is out working this camera angle you see right now. He's up on a tower kind of behind the Cristo Rey dugout, as Grant Poss, the senior, is going to come back in to hit, as we also have a pinch runner, as Cam Kaminsky will come in and run for Zane Council.
Now, Grant Poss looking to replicate his last AB, had a single into left field. Just, I mean, absolute pristine hitting, just nice pull, easy swing of the bat, got through the gap. Just, now I'm sure he's looking to swing for the fences here, but
that one's going to be in for a strike, low and inside, but finds the zone. They'll start out the count 0-1. Runners on first and second, 1 out for Poss. That one's going to be low and in the dirt.
Yep.
Even the count at 1-1.
Yep, good eye from Poss. As we said earlier, got that plate discipline. Last time around, worked the count full and got the pitch he wanted and drove a nice single in the left.
Poss will foul that one off, and that'll be 1-2 now for Poss. Runners have not moved yet. They've been very active on the base paths tonight for the Eagles. Here's the 1-2 offering from Garcia, and that one's going to be lined into right field by Grant Poss. That's going to go off the glove of the right fielder, as Poss will stay at first, and Baird will come around to score, and Cam Kaminsky, the pinch runner, move around to third. So an error by the right fielder will plate Poss, and that'll be the third error on the night for the Lions.
Grant Poss, people don't really talk about it enough. Just his bat reaches every end of the field. That time taking it oppo. You love to see it. Grant Poss, finally showing out. Maybe might get some more looks here later in the year.
Caleb Bratcher now stands in from the left side. 1-0 starts his count. As David Garcia is still on the mound. He's gone now 17 pitches here in this third inning. He came in for relief of Victor Vega, who allowed 9 runs through 2. And now Garcia's come in to allow 3. And Bratcher grounds this one hard over to second baseman. Shortstop, will throw over to second baseman to get the force at second of Grant Poss. But that'll also score Cam Kaminsky from third. And that'll bring the score 13-0 with 4 runs now crossing the plate here in this bottom frame of the third. Chandler Bean now stands in with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Yeah, something to note, kind of an interesting trend. Caleb Bratcher, 3 straight groundouts, but 2 RBI groundouts. So,
if you can drive in runs, that's your job. Chandler Bean, last time up, he hit a single and then he walked in the second inning.
Yep.
He ended up coming around to score a run. And just a reminder, immediately following this game, FBCA will play Cristo Rey yet again. We will not be broadcasting that game, so if you are looking to see how that game turns out, come out to FBCA and watch that second game. But your score right now is 13-0.
Nice hack there from Chandler Bean. Garcia. Here's the 2-1 offering. Chandler Bean grounds that one, and that will get through into right field. And Caleb Bratcher will hold up at second, and Chandler Bean at first. So now, after the Chandler Bean single, Marcos Romo will step in. 2 outs with 1 runner in scoring position.
Despite what the graphic says, the score is 13-0 right now. There is a runner on first and second with 2 outs. As senior Marcos Romo lines that one up the middle for a base hit. And that'll plate Caleb Bratcher. And Chandler Bean will move over to third. And that'll bring the score 14-0 with runners on the corner.
If Logan McKenna, Derek Jordan in now. If Derek Jordan drives in this run here, that will create a 15-0 lead, which would mean if the Eagles don't allow any runs in the top of the fourth, then the game will be over.
Derek Jordan standing in will relieve Logan McKenna of his catching duties as David Garcia goes to check over at first, but there is nobody covering the bag. Derek Jordan, he's played a lot in the field so far this year as a designated fielder in the outfield. As he swings at that first one and fouls it off to the left side. Start the count 0-1. Hasn't had as many opportunities to hit, but when he does, he's gotten on base quite a few times, hitting about around 300 with a 460, 450 on base. So doing well with the opportunities given. Yeah, right there on your screen, 333 average, 5 RBIs, 429 on base percentage. I believe he's going to be coming in to catch now for the remainder of this game. That one's going to be swung on over to the second baseman. as he's going to throw it over to first to make the easy out. And that'll end the inning. 14-0 is your score as Eagles bring across 5 more runs as they lead the Cristo Rey Lions 14-0. This is Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV. Back here in the top of the 4th, your Eagles lead the Cristo Rey Lions 14-0 as Zane Council has yet to allow a hit so far.
Zane Council's line through 3 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 0 runs and 0 hits.
And this'll Jonathan Arizola will lead off the top of the 4th for the Lions. Now in to catch for the Eagles to relieve Logan McKenna is number 1, Derek Jordan Jr. As he frames that one outside for a ball. That one's going to be outside. Move the count 2-0 now.
Yeah, from what I've seen from Zane Council, he struggled here early in the innings. Hasn't really found his spots to get it going, but, you know, he settles in inning by inning and has the line out to third base there. I believe that's Jackson Powers at third base now.
Yeah, Powers is now checked in for Romo out at third base. Trying to look around, see if I see any more defensive changes.
And Marcos Romo has been moved to shortstop, so
Elizondo's night is done, I think. Or is he moved somewhere maybe in the outfield?
I'm looking and I'm not seeing it now. But
yeah, I believe your lineup is working from left to right in the outfield. Curry, Dever, and Baird. And then the infield working from first to third. We have Poss, Bean, Marcos Romo, and Jackson Powers.
Yep, so Coach Jones switching around, letting everybody have an opportunity here. And you love to see it, you know, getting Greg Pawson, getting Derek Jordan in his catching primary, getting Jackson Powers in who wasn't in the starting lineup, and, you know, just getting everybody an opportunity. It's great to see.
2-1 count here to David Banda, who stands in from the right side. That one's going to be fouled over to the left side and bring the count 2-2.
The Eagles, we touched on this earlier, but the Eagles having to have a little bit of catcher rotation tonight just because last night Blaine Baird was involved in a collision at home plate where he got kind of trucked as a catcher, which resulted in a suspension and ejection. But as that one breaks the no-hitter for Zane Council.
Yeah. Number 18, David Banda We'll break up the note here for Council, and Council doesn't seem too pleased about that, but I'm sure that won't bug him for long. As that's going to be a one-out base runner for the Lions, as Banda's going to have a pinch runner come in, as it looks like Anthony Fuentes, who's already in the lineup, is going to come in and pinch run for him.
Could be wrong. Might be.
Our card could be wrong here, but Fuentes, I believe that's who it is going to be on the base paths running for Banda.
Zane Council.
Fuentes is due up in just a couple batters. So if they can get some hits and he can't score, I don't know what the situation would be there.
Could just be wrong. But, you know, Zane Council, best way to get back at Cristo Rey is either to force a double play or something of that, you know, element.
Council with the 0-1 is going to be fouled off to the right side and move the count 0-2.
Zane Council now. Strike here would put him at 8 strikeouts. Great numbers from the senior on senior night.
That one's going to miss away for Council and move the count 1-2. That one's going to get past Jordan, and that's going to move up the pinch runner over to second. And with one out, the Lions have a runner on second with the former pitcher Victor Vega standing in.
Have now a runner in scoring position. Marcos Romo steps up, playing with a steal. That one fouled off.
2-2 count remains. If you're wondering how we got here, the Eagles scored 4 in the first, 5 in the second, and 5 in the third to bring the score 14-0. As Zane Council has worked through 3 1/3 with about 70 pitches so far.
Yeah, Zane Council's been working deep into counts, so the high pitch count is to be expected, especially considering he has 7 strikeouts to this point.
Council's done a good job thus far in the game, not allowing a run. That one's going to be high, and that's going to move the count full to Vega. Runner on second. And here's the full offering from Council, and that's going to be inside, and that's going to put runners on first and second now for Vega with just one out. Update across the district, 3-1 is the score against LSA and Woodlands. The Pioneers lead Woodlands, and that is exactly what Fort Bend needs, as if the Woodlands were to lose tonight, the Eagles would jump them in the district rankings. Big time news across the greater Houston area.
Yep, I believe that the Eagles would require 2 consecutive wins tonight just to be in third, but a loss from the Woodlands, I believe, would mean only 1 win would be necessary, and it seems that the Eagles are on their way to that right now.
Can't give too many, that's a strikeout from Council, but can't give too many guarantees, but I believe as the way this first game is going, I believe we'll be seeing some of the same in the second. So if you can use your inferring skills, I could believe that we can foresee that second game being similar to this one and being maybe a win for the Eagles.
Yep, absolutely.
Can't write anything off, though.
Yeah,
never know in the game
absolutely
of
not.
baseball. But through About 3.5 innings. It has been all Eagles, and the Lions have just been struggling to get runners on base.
But, I mean, at this point in time, they got 2 of them. It's up until this point, 1 hit by pitch and 2 walks. Ooh, and collected by Brady Dever as he was playing up a little bit, but that'll retire the side.
14-0 is still the score as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your Eagles lead, and if they can scratch off another run, that should be a run rule. We'll be back. This is FBCA. It's Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV. FBCA students section starting to get into the YMCA as the score is 14-0 here in the the bottom of the 4th. I believe if the Eagles can score one more run here, that should be a run rule and call the game. And they'll look to try that, start that off with Jackson Powers, who's coming in for Benji Elizondo.
Yeah, he's statistically been pretty solid. He strikes out quite a margin, but still he's got a nice on base, nice average, especially for how much he plays. 218, 306 on base, 10 RBIs. So
he's one of the faster players on this team.
Yep, absolutely.
And he beats out a lot of infield singles as he drives that one out of the infield, and that's going to get down for extra bases. And he's going to use his speed to probably stretch 3.
And that'll be a stand-up triple for sure.
Oh, and he could stretch home. No, he's going to remain at 3rd.
Definitely could have, though.
With his speed and knowing how fast he is, that wasn't out of the realm of possibility. So a leadoff triple for the Eagles as I believe Devers stands in here to bring in the winning run and walk this one off.
I believe that anything that drops in the field of play is going to end this game.
David Garcia still on the mound for the Lions. He allowed 5 runs in the 3rd. He's looking to limit the damage here and stretch this one to another inning. The sun is set here in Sugar Land, and it is a nice cloudy night here. Beautiful weather. slight breeze, and it's been a great night for baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. That looked like it was Brady Devers' pitch, and he was a little frustrated that he got a little under it. Fouled it back.
Time called, as they're going to call a balk on the pitcher, and that'll bring home Powers to score, and that's 15 runs.
But I guess that doesn't end the game.
I'm guessing not. I know that's definitely a rule in softball. I don't know if that's maybe
Yeah,
a
but
rule,
it might be different for baseball.
but I know for sure 10 runs after 5 would call the game. So the Eagles still going to play at least another inning. 15-0 is your score.
Yep, hoping to squeeze another scoreless frame out of Zane Council.
Pass ball gets by the catcher, David Banda. No, excuse me. I believe that is a new catcher back there. I can't see the number, but it doesn't look like Banda's number anymore.
David Garcia thrown 31 pitches now.
Dever fouls that one off, as we'll do 2-2 again. Dever in the box, and Baird is on deck here with no outs and no runners on. Garcia finds his pitch. Shakes that one off. And Dever swings and misses on the 2-2, and he'll be sat down on strikes. That'll bring up senior Blaine Baird.
I'm not going to keep their pitching stats anymore.
That's fine. Baird last time up got a single, and he was hit by a pitch and walked his first 2 times up, so he's 1 for 1 on the night. As Baird fouls that one off to the right side. Baird is hitting .385 with 20 RBIs and a .459 on base percentage.
Yeah, Blaine Baird, as I said earlier, put together quite the season. As I believe the district season will come to an end tonight after the second game. Blaine Baird hovering just under that 400 mark.
Something to keep note, Cam Kaminsky stands in the on-deck circle, and he'll get an at-bat after coming in to pinch run for Zane Council in the 3rd.
Yep, Cam Kaminsky typically comes in relief to pitch.
He had a great relief outing on Wednesday night. The shutdown, Second Baptist, any chance of winning that game. He pitched, I believe, two scoreless innings.
The final 2
to earn
the
the
extra
save.
innings, the 8th and 9th.
So Cam Kaminsky's going to pick up a bat here after Baird's at bat, but there's only 1 out. 1-2 count here, as there's a 1-2 offering from Garcia. That was low, as Garcia took a couple of extra steps on the mound before he delivered that one. And that'll bring the count even.
David Garcia finding his groove a little bit now, working into 2-strike counts, and struck out Brady Dever last time. We'll see what he can do here.
That one's low and away, and that'll bring the count full to Baird. Full count, and Baird's going to dribble that one up the middle. It's going to be corralled by the shortstop, and he's not going to be able to make the throw in time or on target. That's going to be an infield single for Blaine Baird. As Cam Kaminsky will come up to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Kaminsky's a 190 hitter on the year with 2 RBIs.
Have no walks as his 190 average matches his 190 on base. But again, as we've said, doesn't get a lot of opportunities in the box. But
Cam has been seen much more this season out of the pen, and he's done a pretty good job. He has some impressive stats. And as he moves to be a senior next year, I imagine we'll see him more of a starting role come next spring.
Definitely could see that.
But of the arms that the Eagles pitched this year, Caleb Bratcher, Clay Krish are all returning. Brady Dever will be back from injury as Kaminsky flies that one into shallow right. It's going to be dropped by the second baseman, and that's going to fall in to the grass for an error. And that's going to bring up number 44 senior Grant Poss for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, Grant Poss, so far, first time up, had a single and a run, and last time reached on an error. So his average now 167, but no RBIs, but a single here likely could score Blaine Baird.
The crowd getting very involved in seeing Poss at the plate. That one falls in for a strike. Mentioned earlier, Grant Poss came away of George Ranch High School out in Richmond, Texas, along with Caleb Bratcher. So that one's going to be inside for a strike as Poss looks back at the ump and with a look of dismay.
I wasn't a fan of that call.
Poss quickly falls down 0-2 here with runners on first and second. Garcia looking to pick up the out. That one's going to be low and dropped by the catcher as Kaminsky and Baird will move up to second and third. And now Poss with a single would drive in 2 runs.
Yep. Two RBIs, or I mean even just a ground ball would likely just score 1 and be his first RBI of the season.
Big moment here for the senior on senior night. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be in for strike 3 as Grant Poss is going to go down looking. He shot a look at the umpire and did not like that call as that was on the outside part of the plate. And Poss will sit down on the first time of the night as number 13, Tyler Curry, will come in to pinch hit for Caleb Bratcher. The Eagles really working through their bench tonight. They're utilizing everybody on the roster as everybody listed on our game card tonight has come up to hit.
Except, unfortunately, Gary Schubert.
Unfortunately, yes.
Love to see him step into the box one day.
That one's going to be fouled off to the right side, and that one's going to drop in foul near our broadcast tower of James Donovan.
Not sure what happened. Couldn't quite see from our view.
But as you mentioned, coaches Mark Jones, Gary Schubert, only few to not step in the box tonight for the Eagles.
Yeah. Coaches have done a great job with these teams the past few years. And we've seen quite a few really good players cycle through this program. And
as it stands, Jordan Kelly out at Princeton.
Yeah, he's still a highlight reel over in New Jersey, I believe. Just
that one's going to drop in for a strikeout on Tyler Curry. That's going to end the side. 15-0 is your score. The Eagles only scratch off 1 run here. Your score is 15-0. FBCA leads. Cristo Rey Lions will be back in the top of the 5th. You're watching Eagles on the Air on FBCA TV. Back here in the top of the 5th as the student section is starting to enjoy some of the songs played by our DJ, Mr. Kaminsky. Great showing out from the student section tonight as they're coming to support the Eagles in what could be their final couple home games. But as it stands right now, I believe the Eagles may have a shot at hosting a first-round playoff game.
Well, that'd be nice.
May get to do one more broadcast here. But back to this game, top of the 5th, 15-0, as the Eagles have a brand new pitcher out, as senior number 9 Blaine Baird will take his first stab at pitching this season.
Yeah, Blaine Baird, last time pitching through a no-hitter against these same Cristo Rey Lions.
How many innings did he go in that game?
Want to say 5. I actually asked him about this earlier today. His one appearance in all of high school was a no-hitter.
We'll see if Baird can replicate that performance tonight as he is on the mound in a rare situation as Coach Jones is letting just about everybody take the ball on the mound. And I believe we'll see more of the same in the second game. As a reminder, the Eagles will have a doubleheader on tonight, as they will play Cristo Rey just a few minutes after the conclusion of this game. As there appears to be some confusion between the batter and the umpires. He now steps back into the box. And Baird's first pitch is on, and it's going to be outside. The hitter for Cristo Rey refuses to leave the box, and Baird will fire away again. He's going to miss outside yet again.
Yeah, Blaine Baird just needs to settle in here.
And the Cristo Rey hitter is going to stay in his exact stance. Aaron Turan, number 19, in to hit. Sort of checks, and that's going to be 3 straight balls there from Baird to start out the count to Turan. That one's going to be outside. It's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Turan, as Turan stayed in kind of the same stance the entire way and got on base as he walks on over to first base.
By any means necessary.
Now up to bat for Cristo Rey. A pinch hitter, number 9, Lorenzo Vega.
Not sure what's going on between the umpire and...
Probably just checking in the pinch hitter, making sure it's all good and who he's taking out. I don't know if you can see us in the background, but we are in the press box broadcasting this game as we made the camera angle there. Baird is going to be outside yet again to Lorenzo Vega. And he's throwing 5 straight balls.
All outside.
Baird struggling to find the zone so far. And he finds it there and gets in his first strike to make the count 1-1. Baird misses high and away. Goes the count 2-1 to Vega.
Through 6 pitches, 7 pitches, 6 balls and 1 strike. Now 7 balls and 1 strike.
Baird starting to grow a little bit frustrated on the mound as the count moves 3-1. That pitch is going to be low, and Baird's going to walk the first 2 batters of the top of the 5th. No outs on, and the Cristo Rey Lions trot out. Top of the order, number 6, Samuel Juarez.
Yeah, if I'm Blaine Baird, I think at this point, no need to get fancy with it. Just, hit the zone. Dial up your pitches that you can hit the zone, and just like that.
Good swing and big swing and a miss there from Juarez. Starts the count 0-1. Juarez showing bunt there, I believe, and that'll be a called strike 2, and Baird quickly works ahead in the count 0-2. 0-2 offering is flown high to center field, and the Cristo Rey runners are not quite paying attention, and that's going to be a triple play as none of the runners tagged up, and that's going to end the inning.
Oh, my gosh.
A big base running blunder will cost the Cristo Rey Lions the best situation they've had all night to score runs, and that's going to end the 5th. And then top of the 5th, 15-0 is still your score. We move to the bottom of the 5th. And that is the final, as the Eagles will not need to score, and they will run rule the Cristo Rey Lions here in the first game. And we are signing off for tonight. My name is Jackson Champion.
And I'm Andy Cook, and we'll see you soon, probably in a home playoff game, hopefully.
Baseball and softball players are coming up right around the corner, so stay tuned for posts about that on our Instagram at Eagles on the Air, and we will give you updates on when our next broadcast will be. But the Eagles, impressive win in the first game, looking for one more to secure a first-round home playoff game. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back soon. Good night.